Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news. And yeah, you know that Pokemon event that we were talking about yesterday? So it was much bigger than what I expected, and an old fan favorite franchise is now set to return. That's not all though, because the Pokemon game company is also teasing a big game announcement for next week as well. And we might just have an idea as to what it could possibly be. So don't go anywhere just yet, as we will talk about that in just a bit. Also, did the PlayStation 5 price just leak online? I'm not really so sure, but fans are going crazy over the latest leak, so we will talk about that as well. But before we get into all that, let's first go over some of the quick news, starting off with the Xbox Series X and PC exclusive, The Medium. Now, not much is really known about this game as of yet, other than that it is developed by Baldur Team, the same developers behind Layers of Fear and Blair Witch. But now they're starting to open up a bit about this upcoming game, and for you horror fans out there, this may be really exciting. The reason is because it's apparently inspired by Silent Hill 2, which is a legendary game by this point. Now, they did say that even though it is inspired by Silent Hill 2, they are not recreating it. They're just trying to get that same Silent Hill 2 vibe down, if that makes sense. But it will be its own story, tackling different perspectives and your perception on each one. They did explain this is a cinematic narrative-driven game, so do expect to see a big emphasis on its story. There are two entirely different dimensions in the medium, so I will be interested to see what kind of psychological tricks they can pull in this game, and I think that there is a lot of possibilities here. It, however, truly does sound like it's very inspired by old school horror games, so much so that it's even using that semi-fixed camera angle that are so well known in the early Resident Evil games. They very specifically mentioned Until Dawn, Silent Hill, and the early Resident Evil games, and that will be very interesting to see in a modern day game again. But yeah, if you do like horror games, The Medium is checking all the right boxes. Baldur Team even mentioned that there will be no discernible load times thanks to the Xbox Series X solid-state drive, which does make a lot of sense. I think load times will pretty much be a thing of the past for next-generation consoles. I will ask you though, are you excited for this game, or is it just not your thing? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of horror games, we have some really interesting news regarding Resident Evil 8. Of course, Resident Evil 8 showed up at the PlayStation 5 event last week, and it looks really crazy. It's set in the first-person view, there is werewolf-like creatures, and a big castle to explore, and Chris Redfield even showed up at the end. I mean, it looks really good, and obviously, a lot of people are very excited about this game. Well, if you are one of those fans who are excited to get your hands on the next big Resident Evil game, then you will have to buy a next-generation console, or at least own a good PC rig. The reason is because that it will not be a cross-generation game, so you will not be able to play Village on your Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. Now, this was always a possibility as it was never really confirmed, but based off all the rumors, it really did sound like Resident Evil 8 would be a cross-generation game, so this announcement is a bit surprising. To some people, this may be good news, as some do fear that cross-generation titles hold next-generation games back, but others may be left disappointed as they may not be ready to buy into next generation just yet. So I can understand both sides here, but what exactly happened here is the question, and why did Capcom decide not to make Village a cross-generation title? Well, Dusk Golem, who really has been the main insider leaking Resident Evil 8 information, accurately I must say, did try to explain it, and he points out that Resident Evil 8 has a pretty dramatic overhaul in graphical fidelity, and because there is a much bigger emphasis on exploration in Village, that it created a lot of issues on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, specifically with pop-in and texture loading. Really though, it just sounds like it's in how the game was designed by Capcom, and it just sounds like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 wasn't really capable of running Village to the standard Capcom wanted, and I do think that that's rather understandable. I mean, it's upsetting for players who aren't buying a new console immediately, but this is bound to happen in several games going forward. Let me know what your thoughts are on this subject though. I mean, do you like this or do you not? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on though, Baldur's Gate 3 may have got an official early access release window. Now I say may because there is no absolute guarantee on this. Larian Studios' plans is to roll out the early access of Baldur's Gate in August, barring any kind of delay. Now the Larian Studios founder Sven Vink, which I'm sure I'm botching his name, but he is saying that it is possible of delay because they have been affected by all the worldwide issues like many other studios have, and they're kind of working around that. But if everything goes according to plan, you will be able to play the highly anticipated Baldur's Gate 3 in just a few short months. And I don't know about you, but I'm very excited about this game. I'm not really a huge Baldur's Gate fan or anything like that, but this game looks excellent. I love the fact that you can zoom into third-person view behind the shoulder. It looks really challenging, and your decisions are meaningful. Plus, Larian Studios is an amazing developer. Divinity Original Sin 2 is legitimately one of the best RPGs on the entire market, so yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Hopefully you are as well. With all that said though, let's talk about Pokemon because there was a big Pokemon event today. As I said earlier, I wasn't really expecting much to happen here. I thought, hey, they're just going to show off some of the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC and just kinda move on. No big deal, right? However, they had a pretty big announcement here as Pokemon Snap 2 has been confirmed for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I grew up playing the Nintendo 64 and I loved Pokemon Snap. That was one of my favorite games as a kid, and it's arguably the best spin-off to Pokemon ever made. Now, I know there has been some other good spin-offs to Pokemon, which we will talk about here in just a moment, but Pokemon Snap was a really special game, and even though it looks like you just kind of take pictures, there is much more to it than that. There was a lot of secrets in Pokemon Snap that you got to play around with, like getting Pikachu on a surfboard, or getting Lapras to come closer to you by taking a bunch of pictures of it, or even evolving Charmander into a Charizard. And all this was just so cool to explore and just get better scores on your pictures. It was just a really fun game all around, and fans have been wanting a sequel for years. In fact, it's been 21 years since the original game released, and it's just mind-blowing to me that they did not make this game sooner. It's been such a no-brainer for a long time, but we finally got it and it looks really good too. Now, there is no official release date just yet, unfortunately, but I'm just going to say this now. The Switch may now be my favorite Nintendo console of all time. I've always been a big fan of the Nintendo 64 because of all the Rareware games, but Nintendo is just knocking it out of the park this generation. And oh, this gets even better because they are already teasing a big announcement for next week. I don't know why they did not announce it today. Maybe they want that publicity for Pokemon Snap 2 for the time being, but yes, there will be a big announcement next week on June 24th. As to what it could be, well, fans are certainly speculating, and we may have a good idea as to what it could be. Now, there is no guarantee here, and I do want to emphasize this is just simply speculation, but what about a Pokemon Let's Go Gold and Silver? It does seem like that they're hinting at something Gen 2 related, with all the Gen 2 merchandise just neatly sitting in the background. Also, Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu was a huge success for the Switch, and was a really good reimagining of the original Red, Blue, and Yellow. I mean, it's probably the best-selling Pokemon spin-off game to date, and this is what I was alluding to just a moment ago. It's very debatable that Pokemon Let's Go is the best spin-off and not Pokemon Snap, because Let's Go plays very similar to the mainline franchise, but with a more casual approach, bringing in features from Pokemon Go. And I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are really good games. I could definitely see them wanting to do another Let's Go game. Now, will that actually be the announcement? Maybe or maybe not. It could be something completely else like a new Pokken or the Diamond and Pearl remake. That game has heavily been rumored for quite a while now, but I guess we won't have to wait for too long to see. Just 1 week away and we will get to see this big announcement for Pokemon. I would love to hear your thoughts on this though. What do you think that they will announce? And also, what would you like it to be? Let me know in the comments below. And now for the last topic of the day, did the PlayStation 5 price just leak online? So my friend actually sent this to me last night and it's been creating some buzz among fans, and I want to talk about it for just a moment, but not because I believe this leak or anything like that, but rather I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there right now. There has been a reason I have not talked about any of these leaked prices for the PlayStation 5 over the last couple of weeks. So it seems several retailers have been posting PlayStation 5 prices early, and some of them go all the way up to $700 or even higher than that. In this case though, somebody is claiming that it leaked on Amazon France for 499 euros, or 399 euros for the digital version, which more than likely would be the same in the West as well, $500 and $400 respectively, even though the actual translation is not that specific amount. First off, I just want to say I'm pretty positive this picture is fake, but I've seen a lot of people believe it, and even big news outlets like Forbes is reporting on said leak, which is why I'm going to report on it right now. I just want to caution people on not believing any of these leaks. Not the $700 one, and not this one either. I do firmly believe that the PlayStation 5 will be $500, however the digital version will likely be $50 cheaper and not $100, unless they're willing to take a loss per unit, or if it's a weaker console as well. The reason I say that is because a Blu-ray drive does not cost $100, so dropping the price by $100 for only removing the Blu-ray drive would be absolutely shocking to me. Could it happen? Well, yeah, anything could happen, but I would be really surprised. What I'm trying to tell you though is to just wait for Sony to announce the price. I don't even think that they know what the price will be just yet. They have a good idea as to what it will be, but they're trying to wait out Xbox to announce the price for the Xbox Series X first. It's really a cat and mouse game between the two at the moment, and even though both probably have a good idea as to what the price will be, they both likely have a strategy to either undercut their competitor or simply match it. So just wait for the time being, and as always, I will keep you up to date if anything legitimate happens, but unless there's a legitimate insider that says something, or Sony or Microsoft says something themselves, don't believe anything that you see on the internet. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.